The Camanches are supposed to be a branch or subdivision of the Shoshan or Snake Nation, who under various names or tribal appellation dominate the entire area from the borders of British America to the Rio Grande. Although these tribes are known by many different names such as Shoshans, Bonaks, Utahs, Lipans, Apaches, Navajos, Pawnee Picts, Camanches, or Cayugas, they vary but little in their general habits of life. Such differences as though exist are mainly the result of variations of climate. Until within a few years, the Camanches were undoubtedly the most warlike and powerful race of Indians on the continent. With the Apaches, Navajos, and Lipans, they formed a sort of Indian confederacy, rarely at war among themselves but always with the whites, and when united, able to put a force in the field which would ride over the Texan frontier like a whirlwind, and without hesitation penetrate hundreds of miles into Mexico, desolating whole provinces, returning sated with slaughter, and burdened with plunder. The Camanches are divided into 5 bands, usually acting entirely independently of one another, but uniting in case of emergency or for the purpose of making their annual raid on the Mexican towns. This occurs at the season when the buffaloes have migrated to the north and is jocularly termed by the Indians the Mexican Moon. It was on their return from one of these expeditions that the band of Tonsoroyu, the head chief of the nation, had intercepted our unlucky party. The band of Tonsoroyu, Lone Wolf, was the most numerous and powerful of the 5, and hence was usually able to undertake their forays without the assistance of the other parties. Twice only during my long residence among them was a general levy or a muster of the whole nation deemed necessary, and it was a spectacle not easily forgotten. In the first instance, a raid of greater magnitude than usual had been determined upon, and every warrior was assembled to take part in it. Assembled at our village, they were joined by nearly 500 Apaches, led by their second chief Matuchiga. Thus, when they defiled through the western portal of the valley, Tonsoroju rode at the head of nearly 7,000 warriors. With the Camanches, as with most other tribes, the chief rank is held by hereditary descent. Thus, the son of a chief usually succeeds his father in the rulership of his tribe or band. There are of course expectations to this, but it is the general rule. The head chief and second chief of the nation, however, are chosen from among the chiefs of each tribe, the selection being made by the council. This body numbers 12 members and are chosen by the whole nation, holding their positions during life or until incapacitated by old age. Among them are found the most distinguished warriors of the tribe, and the head priest is also included in their number. The installation of a new counselor is considered by the Indians an occasion of great importance, and as it is a very interesting ceremony, I will briefly describe it. On the occasion in question, Aronija or Bloody Arm had announced his determination to retire from the position of first counselor, which he had held for many years. Calling together the chiefs and braves, he addressed them somewhat as follows. Brothers, warriors of the heathen, for many winters Bloody Arm has faithfully served you. He is no longer young. His body is weakened by the many wounds he had received in your defense, and he wishes for repose, and to be no longer burdened with the cares of the council. Bloody Arm's medicine is no longer good upon the war path, and he will enter the medicine lodge so that he will not be obliged to go to war, but can end his days in peace. We have many brave young warriors who are deserving of promotion. Let one of these be selected to fill my place, and may his medicine be good and his warpath be fortunate warriors. I now give up the office of first counselor I have done. Tonsoroju replied as follows. Aranija, our hearts are sorry that you have decided to cease to be our first counselor. You have served the nation long and faithfully. Your counsel has been wise. Under your guidance we have greatly prospered, and we would rather that you should still direct us. But you say that your body is weak, and that you desire repose. It is well. We know that you have received many wounds at the hands of our enemies, that you were always first in the charge, and never turned your back upon the foe. We honor you for your bravery, and you will always possess the love and respect of your people. Now we must select a 12th counselor. Will you name him for us? No, Tansarojuu, said the old man. I never had an enemy among my warriors, and I will not begin to make them now. They are all brave, and I should not know whom to choose. Let the nation decide who is to succeed me. I have done. The form of an election was then gone through, with 2 braves being named for the position by the council, and the vote taken in the following manner. 2 heaps of shells, one black, the other white, were placed upon the ground before the temple. Each warrior selected one from either pal as he preferred, and placed the shell so taken so as to form a 3rd pal. When all had deposited a shell in this heap, they were counted by 2 of the elder counselors, and the first candidate, who was a protege of Tansarojuu, was declared rejected, having received too many of the black shells, as the rule is that if more than a certain prescribed number, which varies according to the number taking part in the election, are cast against the candidate, he must be withdrawn, and another presented for approval. On the second ballot, No Seda, or Strong Shield, was chosen without opposition. He belonged to the band of Stanuan, and was selected as much because of the personal popularity of his chief, as from any merit of his own. For although a daring warrior, he was a reckless fellow, and scarcely fitted to command or advise. The ceremony of his installation followed and was conducted within a medicine lodge, erected for that especial purpose. Here were assembled the chiefs, priests, members of the council, and the leading warriors, with as many of the other braves as could possibly crowd into it. The new dignitary was then presented with a white buffalo robe and the headdress of eagle's plumes, stained red, the insignia of his office. New arms and equipments were given him, and it was formally announced that now Seda was the 12th counselor of the Comanche nation, and that the next war party should be led by him. More speech-making followed, some of it decidedly eloquent. Tansarojuu presented the new counselor with 20 horses and a magnificent white shield. The assemblage then separated. The remainder of the day was devoted to feasting in honor of the event, the younger warriors amusing themselves as usual with horse racing and ball play. No Seda failed to justify the wisdom of this selection, for his first war party resulted in disaster, starting with about 80 warriors on a raid into the Utah country to steal horses. He led his unlucky band into an ambush, and barely 20 of them escaped, their leader being among the killed. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to click that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to be notified about our latest videos.